and there was a session that we had, and I completely broke my ankle, and tore the ligaments off of the bone. So yeah, I was basically told that I would pretty much never play sport again unless I'd got reconstructive surgery of my ligaments, and I had like a bleed inside me ankle bone or my foot or whatever that means. I can't remember, but he basically told me, look, you'll never play sport again unless you go and get this surgery. And in fairness, like, that completely deflated me. Football was all I'd really known growing up, and it was what I was massively passionate about. But at the same time, I wasn't willing to go and get this surgery because it would have kept me off my feet for anywhere between 3 and 6 months. It was a long recovery period. And obviously, with being an on the floor personal trainer at the time, I couldn't take that amount of time off my feet. So after a couple of months, well, first and foremost, I decided to pretty much not take that as an answer. And I said, there has to be another way. There has to be some sort of way which I can get back playing football, or at least I can get back doing some sort of competitive sports. So I signed up with the lads at Movement 101. They're all about like movement and mobility and taking real control of your body. And it was a long old rehab protocol, to be honest. I didn't do anything for about 9 months. But I remember then, before going back to play football, or before at least going and trying to play football, I said, look, I'll just try and go for a run. I'll see if my ankle can even take any impact. And I remember going out, and I was absolutely blown about 2K in. I was in bits. But I felt unbelievable. Like, I felt absolutely super. And I remember going out, and I said to him, do you know what? I'm going to go out and crack out a 5K and see how this feels. I didn't even get the 5K, to be honest with you. I think I got the 4.6 and I was gone. I was done. But I voice noted him. And usually I'm quite hard on myself, really, I suppose, high expectations of myself. It didn't even cross my mind that I didn't get 5K done. It was more so, my God, you feel great, your ankle feels good. And from there on in, it was just like, right, well, let's see how far we can take this. I did get back playing ball, not competitively or anything like that. But after that run, and then I just done a couple more. And I remember I'd never done 10K. And I said to my coach, I think I'd gotten to 7 or 8K. And I remember texting him. And I was like, if all going well here, I think I'd like to have a crack at a marathon. And he says, what? He says, you relax, you only done bleeding 5K 2 weeks ago. And I said, yeah, I feel great. And I'd love to see how far I can take this. And he says, look, we'll have a crack at it. I said, look, I've never done more than 10K. Let's see how we go. So, yeah, that was really it, to be honest with you. I went out to see if I could run, to go back playing football. But then I don't know, I fell in love with running after hating it for so long. He had obviously introduced me to low intensity, zone 2 work, like, and actually running slow, which up until that point, I'd only ever went out and tried to hit a PB every single run. What lad in their teens that has no clue about running doesn't, you know what I mean? And every single run, I just hated it, and I finished deflated. But then when he introduced me more to zone 2 work and stuff like that, I was like, oh, this is actually quite good. And it was great for, at the time as well, I'd gone through a bad patch with my mental health, obviously with breaking my ankle, and that was in, coming out of lockdown, but we were still technically in lockdown as well. It was just when sports were allowed to go back behind closed doors. So it was actually amazing for my mental health. And yeah, just every time I went out the door, I was seeing the progress. And that's the one thing I love about running as well. The progress is there in front of your eyes. Like, it's black and white. You know what I mean? Numbers don't lie. Humans do sometimes, but, but numbers don't. And I think I just fell in love with the simplicity of it. And every time, as I said, it was actually obviously in the summer, and I'd started prepping for Dublin that year back in 22, and the good weather, and yeah, it was just, I fell in love with it just out of nowhere. It was mad.